I'm Srutinwita Roy. My project is exploring live VR illustrations to show the architectural changes of Hyderabad. When I moved to Hyderabad, I could see the Persian influence in the architecture over here. The jalis, the tombs, and when I visited Charminar and Golconda Fort, it completely amazed me. So I wanted to show these architectural features through my project and how these characteristics change from time to time and period to period, and how the different dynasties had their own influences. Through this project, I want to represent my take on Hyderabad's changing architecture and how it transformed from the Buddhist remains of Nagarjunakonda to what it is today. For doing this, I explored many mediums. I tried my hands on VR, virtual reality, and once I got to know that I could illustrate inside VR, there was no turning back from that point. I used virtual reality because I wanted to immerse my viewers in the spatial experience where they could walk around my illustrations and feel every brushstroke with their own hand. It was as if you were walking inside a very big drawn space. I also wrote a narrative on Hyderabad's architecture, and after combining the illustrations of virtual reality and this narrative, I came up with the final composition. The past always appealed to me more than the new. Dilapidated walls, forgotten stories which are now known by just a few. Every place has a history to tell, be it yours or mine, about how it became what it is today after standing the test of time. Some buildings once inhabited by people are nothing more than just bricks broken, whereas some still stand gloriously proclaiming that their strength is not shaken. Of all these places, let me tell you the tale of one particular, which is my current vicinity. The city of pearls it is called sometimes, and sometimes called the Nizam city. It has been influenced by many regimes, from the Buddhist sect of Mahayana, which is seen almost buried under Nagarjunakonda or the hills of Nagarjuna, to the Hindu temples of Akanna Madanna, built in the early 17th century, which has beautifully carved pillars, walls, ceiling, and many stories from history. While walking on the streets, you will surely find some buildings with Persian savor. Domes, arches, and jalis, all built in accordance with the Qutub Shahi dynasty's flavor. Prominent among them include Charminar and Golconda Fort, obviously, and also the Qutub Shahi tombs, which still attracts thousands of tourists gloriously. Then ruled the Nizams under the European power, functioning as a princely state. They introduced neoclassical architecture which showcased pillars elaborate. A confluence of cultures and religions was seen, which included Christianity, grateful to which we find exquisite churches like the St. George's and the Holy Trinity. The later period saw a mixture of Mughal and European styles called Indo-Saracenic. Pointed arches, domes, minarets adorned the buildings and made them unique. All these aspects you can point out easily if you take a stroll around the old city and spot the Chowmahalla Palace, High Court, and the Osmania University. As times move forward, we come to see influences of Art Deco, with buildings such as SBH, which has a modern echo. Now see, past can be overwhelming, and to be honest, it is my personal obsession. But the present will also become history when looked back by the future generation. So let me keep on moving further in the timeline, which brings me to my own proximity, the postmodern red and white building standing as the hostels of IIT. By now, I'm sure you know which city I'm talking about. If not, let me put it in this way. If you ever want to taste authentic biryani, you have to come to this place.